If you're the type of person that thinks black people can't be racist, you are a bigger part of the problem than video games are. If you're the type of person that thinks it's okay to physically assault and attack somebody because they say things that you don't like, you are a bigger part of the problem than video games are. If you are of the mindset that a red hat that says "Make America Great" on it, that was made in 2015, carries any sort of weight or symbolism that a Klan hood that was made in 1890 or something like that, which blows my mind to this moment. It makes my head hurt, but people really do think this. You are a bigger part of the problem than video games are. I was here through the Fred Thompson thing. I was here through the Columbine thing. Every time there is a mass shooting, the media, they go overboard and they start pointing their finger at all the usual suspects, including the art of video games. Guys, it's nonsense. America is reaping what it sowed. And a lot of people, I know that sounds a little nutty, right? But the deal is that we have been dismantling and dismissing the nuclear family in our country for a long time now. And I know there's a lot of people who will sit there and say, well, all families are the same and everything else like that. No, not really. And the deal is that the optimal thing for any child is mom, dad together, boom, guiding them, showing them, moving them in the right direction. Is it perfect? Of course not. But is it the best that we have? Yeah. And since the 60s, we've really been going out of our way to create just generations of broken people, of people that are hurt at a psychological, at a neurological level. And when you have that, plus the tenor and the tone that, I cannot sit here and legitimately agree that the president set. The media set this tone. Those who have the mentalities that I spoke of earlier set this tone. Black people can't be racist. Nah, white men, screw those guys. Like, whoa. It should be, no, everybody aight. That's the thing. Regardless if you're a white man, Asian woman, black hermaphrodite, it doesn't matter. I want you to be okay. I want you to have the best life that you can have. And that, trust me, I know that is not my choice. But whatever your choice is, I'll back you up. I'll say, hey, go get them. You want to go to DeVry? Go to DeVry. But ultimately, there is lines. I'm sorry, there are lines. There is lines. That's terrible of me. There are lines. And the dismantling of the nuclear family, the fact that we have so many of our kids being brought up in broken homes. And I can't tell you the situation that has taken place for either one of the gentlemen that committed the tragedies that they committed, but all the if he was black he'd be dead and everything else like that. Chances are, particularly if it took place in Essex County, New Jersey, if he was black he wouldn't have gotten caught, because when you sit here and pile the bodies next to each other, mass shootings are terrible, but what's Chicago's numbers? What are our inner cities numbers? Everybody was talking about our inner cities 2 seconds ago. Individual shootings are just as tragic and just as terrible as the mass ones. Every life that is taken unnecessarily is a life that didn't need to go. Somebody who, the circumstances, the environments, the cultures that have been cultivated took away from us. But, that's not what Fox is on. So let's let them have their say.
We heard from the deputy governor of Texas earlier, and he was talking, it was a very impassioned conversation, really, and he was talking about the tone that the public uses on social.
So, first and foremost, what's up with a bottom lip? I don't know, there's something weird about it. It might be some Botox, I'm not sure.
Media, He was talking about video games, all of these things that could have triggered. Certainly, the video game situation, he was saying, may have triggered the shooter there in El Paso.
But you mean the video game? Oh boy. So, like I said, they always break out the video games. Deal is that it's environmental, it's cultural, it's a so like there are so many things that go into a human life. Who knows the damn ingredients that goes into these people with desires and the capacity to harm others.
What are your thoughts on that in terms of understanding that words matter and that when we're talking to each other on social media or looking at video games where they're using,
So that's one thing I want to point out. Like, she is like drawing social media and video games like dangerously close together when they're two separate entities. Okay, social media such as your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Gabs, your Minds and things like that. Those are not games. They're not video games. Now, video games do have chat rooms and lobbies and places like you can connect and talk to people. But there is a very fine line. I think that that's the thing about these old heads. They take the internet and they have no idea. It's just internet to them. It's not. They can't compartmentalize. They're having a hard time compartmentalizing.
Videos of characters with these weapons. Is there a
And you see that little videos of characters. Yeah, come out the YouTube platform as well, and BitChute. Yeah, by all means.
Conversation to be had about that, about the tone that this country is using. It's become commonplace to say whatever you want to anybody.
That's the thing. Is it? She's like, it's commonplace to say anything you want to anybody. Hell no. There's a lot of people that are forced to bite their tongue. I mean, what was it commonplace for Mario Lopez to get to say what he said? He's not allowed to say what he said, right? Alex Jones isn't allowed to say what he says. So don't sit here and say, oh yeah, you can say anything you want to anybody, particularly on the internet, when guess what? We're past that phase. See, that's the problem with a lot of our media, is that socially, as far as the zeitgeist goes, they're like a couple of years behind. I mean, YouTube, Facebook, they all kicked up their censorship. Google's all kicked up their censorship. Let's not play these games. But the media is like, oh no, well, shoot.
On social media.
I think we should, and you want to see from these individuals what they wrote in others, but I mean, this may be a place that we could find this ahead of time. There may be a place of what's being written can be changed, can be an indication that an individual needs help in others that we can stop. But the idea of these video games to dehumanize individuals, to have a game of shooting individuals and others.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry, my dude. Like, this is where, honestly, oh my goodness, if you're from a generation that couldn't set a VCR clock, I do not expect you to get, our new technologically advanced world. Deal is that FPS, or first-person shooters, have been around for forever. Cats been playing them. Millions of people play them. Mostly dudes, but females too. They get into the FPSs. They get into first-person shooters. They, shoot all the time, play all the time. Just sit there, chill, and kick it. Never once hop up and mass murder anybody. I mean, as far as the numbers go, it's not even close to the amount of people who've actually played, Call of Duty and all the other, Battlefields and stuff like that. Like the people that have played it to an amount of people who have actually gotten up and just went on killing sprees, like less than a percentile. Come on, man. Let's be real. He also looks a little bit like Joseph DiVincenzo.
I've always felt that is a problem for future generations and others. We've watched from studies shown before of what it does to individuals.
See, that's the thing about those studies, though. Like, you can if you pull the right, if you put all the proper variables in place and you pull the right demographic of people, you can get whatever numbers you want. Statistics, that's one of like the first lessons they teach anybody in statistics class, and I know statistics class like 60% of people who get degrees have to take some form of statistics. Yeah, come on, man.
When you look at these photos of how it took place, You can see the actions within video games and others, but what I'd like to do is make sure just get all the facts where there are indications, and there's times before that we have found this, and there's times before that we've proven we could come together just in the last Congress.
You know, we heard.
Yes, but that's the thing, bro. Like, what you want to do? Come together and do gun control? Nah, my G. Nah, that's the thing. Like I said in the video about that I did earlier today about Venezuela. No, like, I'm mad that Jersey has as strict gun laws as it does, because who knows? I know one of them was in an open carry state, which I think was the Ohio one, but either ways, no. Wait, it's Texas? I'm not sure. Either ways though, guys, video games ain't the problem. It's not. It hasn't been. The problem is the culture that we put together, and not the one on the internet, but the one in the real world. The one where, you know, you should be able to look your neighbor in the eye and say hello, and be able to keep your doors unlocked. But yeah, you're right. We are way past that point. There's no getting back there, but legislatively, we can sit there and start to undo a lot of the nonsense that has gotten us here. We can try. We can make an attempt. Just because it's something that seems impossible doesn't mean it is impossible. So we can make an attempt. We can start to work via legislation and policy to, you know what I'm saying, re-incentivize keeping our family units together and making sure that those of us who need it have it. And if you are willing to work for it, you'll get it. I mean, we can't guarantee success, but what I am saying is that we can help. You know, and like collectively, I feel like we could help. Either ways, but just pointing the fingers at video games and ignoring, you know, the seeds of destruction that were planted a long time ago isn't helping anybody. So, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I ain't scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? I mean, you know what? Let's do something fun with the comments. Video games. You know, what was your first game? Me, I was playing ColecoVision. I was playing Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision. You know, that's how far back my gamer pedigree goes. Let me know what was your game in the comments. And until the next one.